Hey guys, Chris Field here. Today we're going to talk about how drones are being used in Norway. So, what is a drone? Drones are unmanned aerial vehicles. They utilize various communications technologies in order for a home base to operate with them. That can be 5G, 4G. They're actually using edge technology as well in Norway. Granted, it's quite a bit slower. Um, I personally have one that uses Bluetooth. Granted, it doesn't go very far. There are some that put out their own Wi-Fi connections. Pretty insane. Some of these do have autonomous capabilities. Most of them will be generally operated by a human at some point. By autonomous, I mean that some drones can be programmed ahead of one launch and will run a predetermined route to complete their action. So we used some quadcopters when I was in the army, similar to the one that's being pictured here. What we could do was using a map and a grid reference system, we could plot out a course that it would run. So all we have to do is use the gimbaled camera there. Gimbaled meaning it can rotate in basically any direction. And a lot of these cameras had IR and thermal capabilities, so we could go through and see just about anything that could be hiding. Is pretty neat. So some ways here specifically that Norway is using drones. In agriculture, they're using them throughout the entirety of Scandinavia, really, to quickly and efficiently distribute pesticides and fungicides. They're also using them for livestock management and security. So the reason I put security under agriculture is the hemp market is fairly extensive, and you can imagine people are always trying to steal the weed. So they use these drones to basically check the perimeter of their fences and their gardens, make sure nobody's breaking into anything. Utilities are actually doing the same thing as far as the security is concerned. They use them to monitor their power stations or their big grids that are out in the middle of nowhere. Um, Norway specifically is using drones to monitor again their power grids, but when the power goes out, due to some current technologies they are using there, they're able to see exactly where power has stopped flowing, and they're able to fly a drone out there, even from a spot where no people are, and basically go out there and see what the problem is without actually sending a person out there. The one I'm going to talk about some more here, search and rescue. Norway is doing some cool stuff with 5G and mobile 5G, as I mean mobile as in moving their hotspots. They're using these to find lost people in the woods, as well as specifically avalanche control. So, as I mentioned with the search and rescue, this is one of those mobile 5G trucks here. This is a hotspot. What he's showing is their actual drone up in the woods looking out for these people. So this whole simulation here, what you see on the screen, that little blue guy there, that is a person that's playing Lost in the Woods, and they're just demonstrating what they can do now. This is the quadcopter that they're using. I think it's pretty cool. I really like the Nordic runes on it. What is interesting here, notice the placement of the blades. You have two top and two on bottom. So same company here, different placements. This was during an avalanche. This was an actual rescue. They used the drones with their thermal technologies to go out and pinpoint where the people were lost or trapped underneath the ice, and they actually extracted 100% of the people. So, where we're having some issues with the adoption of drone technology, first of all, drones are currently a $30 billion industry with expected outlooks reaching over $100 billion by the year 2030. Not so much a problem. In fact, that is quite good. It means that we are adopting things that are new like this. An actual setback would include fears of privacy. So people talking about drones being able to see in all the windows of their houses. Communications technologies are still an issue. While some people like Norway are able to use their 5G to facilitate better usage of these, a lot of people or a lot of countries and areas don't have good communications yet. Some regulations, you can think about how the FAA heavily regulates how we can use drones. So that's really limiting how like FedEx and UPS are able to use them to deliver. Training is, of course, going to be an issue. We always have to get new people to learn new technology efficiently at that. Not to mention startup costs and building resources for the actual drones themselves. We're all aware of the big silicon issue right now and setbacks with creating new chips.